So we stopped at a Safeway to get a few snacks for the road, and then we're heading out on the trail this morning. Another nice day. It's already kind of warm. So here we go. And goodbye, Steamboat Springs. We're going to end up in Eagle tonight, and Ash says most of what we're riding today is not real high, 8,000 feet. A lot of meadows, stuff like that. So kind of looking forward to it. It'll be different. Rumors of water crossings and such. That'll be nice. Heading south from Steamboat Springs, the road wound out through some big open meadows. It was pretty much paved all the way down to Colorado 131, a road that we would cross and use sections of throughout the rest of the day. And no sooner did we get off pavement and up into the woods a little bit, and we started to run into cows. Quite a few cows along the trail here and there. We saw several herds and a couple of vaqueros. Wow, look at that mesa up there. Cool. And it brought us down to the big reservoir on the Yampa River at Stagecoach State Park. Now, a lot of these trails or roads evidently were originally part of the stagecoach route through the area. The terrain was pretty gentle, the roads flowing and open, and when we encountered a couple riders coming north, we stopped for a break to chat and just share company, exchange information about, you know, what we'd been through and what lie ahead. Eager to keep moving, we bypassed the historic stagecoach stop, and it wasn't very much longer before we came to the first and only significant water crossing we would face today, Beaver Pond. We continued our way on the mostly flat and flowing roads in the broad open valleys until we reached a forest road and turned off on it to start our climb up into the high country. It was a nice change of pace to get on a more windy road, though this one was also in pretty good shape, and we climbed our way up into the high country. Lots of sagebrush covered hills, deep gullies alongside the road, a few forested areas that had probably previously been burned. A lot of the trees were down. And ultimately we reached the highest point we would hit today, which was Lynx Pass at about 8,500 feet. Works for me. Here we pulled off for a little bit, took a nice long break. It was a good spot to sit and savor the views. We could look down into the radium area, which is where we would be headed next, and kind of get a hint of the gorges and canyons cut by the Colorado River that we would be riding through later in the day. The drop down to Radium was, while not particularly steep or all that challenging, it was stunningly beautiful. This was one of my favorite sections of the day, with the winding road gently sloping down and the views that went for miles and miles and miles. It was just plain gorgeous. Ultimately, we got down to the bridge at the Colorado River and paused there briefly to eat our lunch and get back out on the road and continue on our way. The next 12 miles or so took us on a ride along the Colorado River, first crossing a broad, flat valley. It was a nice chance to relax, kick back, and digest our lunch. The road eventually drew in a little closer to the river and led us to the intersection at the town of State Bridge, where we would hop on Colorado 131 again for a short section to reach the next road.
This is Colorado 131.
Just a few minutes on Colorado 131 brought us to the turn onto Colorado River Road and towards the town of Burns. Now, if there is a town of Burns, I must have been looking at the river or something. I guess I missed it. But we were there.
Burns, Colorado. Never really heard of it. It is kind of in the middle of nowhere. How about that?
The further we went on Colorado River Road, the more and more scenic it got.
There goes the train.
The mountains along the roadside grew gradually larger, more stunning in color, and the river became more wild and rapid.
Wow. That is pretty.
This may have been the most scenic portion of the ride today. Not long after Colorado River Road turned to pavement, our nice day of easy, laid-back, scenic riding was about to change. We made the turn onto Trail Gulch Road, and things got different. This was to be the last section of unpaved riding we would do today, before we reached the town of Gypsum near I-70. Along the way, we found out how the town of Gypsum got its name.
This gypsum dust is just amazing. It's like, yeah, So Ash warned us about this notorious gypsum road, which is virtually impassable if it rains because it just turns into totally slick icy type mud that major wrecks. And oh, look at this up here. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, it's like talcum powder. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to, I can't see through the dust, so I'm just waiting for it to clear. This gypsum is taking its toll.
Navigation proved to be quite a challenge as well. I mean, between the big white clouds of dust where I literally had to stop a couple times, I couldn't see through it to proceed, and then my GPS and everything else was so totally covered in dust you couldn't read it. But we managed to figure things out and stay on the right roads, and ultimately the closer we got to town, the better and better things got.
Brush the dust off the GPS to see where we are. We're down at I-70. We still have a little ways to go yet. My GPS doesn't know that there's a hotel here anymore. Yeah, I would head that way. And I can just put it into Waze or something.
Thanks for watching episode 10 of the America Rides Maps vlog. In episode 11, we'll continue on to section 4 of the Colorado Backcountry Discovery Route. Please take a minute and click like and subscribe on YouTube, and don't forget to check us out at America Rides Maps on the internet and also on our Facebook page.